And as we do get closer, we just again want to thank everybody who's out here today, everybody who's sitting already lined up and ready to go, ready to support all the folks that are going to be a part of this parade today here through downtown Fitchburg on the first two-way main edition of the parade.
Two-way Main Street, and of course Fitchburg Access Television Live, and having this live shot this morning. Great to see all the folks out and the volunteers that always seem to make it happen with FATV. Every time we come out, Fitchburg Access Television pushes the technology limits, and today's no exception with the first actual en route live shot.
The en route live shot, and when you talk about pushing the boundaries of access, the legislative building right behind us for viewers that are at home and folks that are here in the crowd, it's amazing to see how much they're able to cover in terms of city meetings now. Different committee meetings before where it's just the city council. Now they're covering the different committee meetings, so you can actually watch those right from your home using the different camera setups that they have actually right in the legislative building to make government more accessible to Fitchburg residents.
And we want to thank all those residents, otherwise we'd be doing this all for nothing.
Absolutely, and folks, we do want to thank your continued support for Fitchburg Access, and to learn more about Fitchburg Access, head to fatv.org. We're also streaming, as you mentioned, online, but also now on a Roku app for your TVs.
Yeah, the access, as you had kind of mentioned, the word access and Fitchburg Access is now synonymous in so many different venues and grown just over the last decade or so. Just incredible.
Absolutely, and they're always looking for volunteers, and I know right now the director today, actually up here, Robin Como, a volunteer. You got Travis F., not myself, but the other Travis, who's been an employee for a number of years. I believe he was an intern, first started kind of right out of college, and he has just really made a go with local access and trying to push the boundaries of what they do, incorporating podcasts, incorporating newer technology, and always kind of being on the cusp. He and Executive Director Nate Glennie were actually at a conference earlier this week where they were looking at some of the latest and greatest in terms of local cable access.
And no surprise, their partnerships, of course, with Fitchburg State University and getting internships coordinated there have led to some terrific hires and some folks that moved on in their careers to really, really great progress and career opportunities for these young folks that are in the film, television, and broadcast programs at Fitchburg State University.
And it is an exciting time. And you mentioned that partnership. A lot of times they do get interns who come right from Fitchburg State, and they teach classes in conjunction with them, and it's such an integrated partnership with those students to really let them kind of get their foot in the door right here in Fitchburg.
And of course, under President Travis Condon's leadership now.
Thank you.
Travis Falk, of course, mentioned just a few minutes ago, he was actually in high school when he started at Fitchburg Access TV. Jared Roberts helping us out today. Robin Como, director. Nate Glennie, executive director, of course, going to drive the production truck. And some of the other folks helping with today's broadcast, Mary Hanlon. She's got the script and the rule of the day over here. And we're going to have to take a look at that paperwork in just a minute.
We are, and Mary, right up until the 11th hour, I should say, right up until 9:58 or so, she's working on finalizing that lineup for us to make sure that we have the most accurate information when it comes to these parade vehicles that are going to be coming down.
We talked a little bit earlier about Ray Shalafu, WPKZ, longtime host and radio morning show personality. And that's exactly how I got started doing this, Travis. So here we are. Second time around.
Now, how many years has it been for you hosting this parade and co-hosting?
Yeah, I think we're at 20. I think we're 20 or just a little under or just a little over. It all started with the antique car list that was out of order one year, and Ray C. asked me to come up on the stage and help him, and it just continued ever since.
That's excellent. I'm happy that I was able to kind of help carry on that legacy and help you with this parade. Parade number 5, we were, of course, sidelined because of the pandemic, but we're glad to be back here, and I'm glad to be teaming up with you yet again this year.
Well, it's exciting. It's great to be back for the 2022 Civic Days Parade. We hear the sirens starting now, coming up west on Main Street, just as they enter the business district. So this is exciting, and we're about to kick this off.
We are, and I can't think of a better way to kick it off than our first responders and these sirens. And it's always such an incredible display to really lead the parade off. The kids get excited when they see these vehicles, and it really just puts everyone in that 4th of July, the Independence Day spirit this morning.
You got to love a police car and a fire truck. And of course, the EMS will be well represented with some life-saving equipment as well.
Absolutely, and one of the newest vehicles to the Fitchburg Police Department fleet with some new high-visibility technology will be there. And if you've seen the parades over the number of years, you know that our first responders, our three departments, the city, continuously investing in these vehicles, investing in this technology to keep folks safe and make sure that they can respond to emergencies as needed. And it's just remarkable to see, just looking at just in the past decade, how much these vehicles have changed and how far they've come.
Chief Martineau, of course, this morning piloted by Captain Harry Hess. He was driving that special vehicle we're about to see. It's the newest of the fleet, and just terrific. And then, of course, we'll see some antique cars. There'll be some bands, and we're likely to see Fitchburg High School well represented this morning as well.
Yes, and they did close down Main Street earlier, so it's all clear and all ready for people to go, and we can actually see them starting to make the first turns. I believe the motorcycle unit is leading the pack, and we're actually going to see our third co-host for today. Pastor Thomas Hughes is going to be riding in the community engagement car. The community engagement unit doing a lot to just really engage young folks, older folks, everybody in the community, showing up to community events, really trying to make an impact on the city of Fitchburg and responding to not when there's just an emergency. We're trying to build and foster those relationships with our residents.
Tommy Hughes, of course, joined us this morning here at the broadcast booth, and he had seemed to be probably preaching last night because he was a little bit less, let's say, loud this morning, right?
A little bit hoarse, but I think we'll all be like that by the end of this parade, especially when we have to yell over these sirens in a few.
Yeah, and we do see them coming. The mounted unit, of course, the Harley-Davidson FLHTP version. That's the police version of the Harley-Davidson Electra Glide, the Road King frame, and well represented, of course, the equipment this morning that helps keep the community safe in every way.
Yes, and I believe we'll also have some other local departments represented as well, and we will be announcing them as they come along. And as we get the final details of the parade, we are getting ready to get things started. We've got kids already blowing their bubbles. The trucks have been coming by with the balloons and all the other items for today to send the kids home with as they enjoy their 4th of July celebrations, their Independence Day celebrations here as the Fitchburg Civic Days parade gets underway once again for another year. And don't forget, again, the Civic Days Duck Race really helps fundraise and make these events possible. It's going to be happening on July 10th over at Riverfront Park. Get out there, the fun starts at 3.
It's important to mention then that this is possible without the Fitchburg Civic Days Committee. Nate LaRose, David Genesi, Natalia Oliver, she's the co-chair, Raymond Burnett, Diane Burnett, also a co-chair, Joe Ferguson, Monique Guthrie, and A.J. Turigny.
Absolutely, those folks working so hard to make this event possible and really dedicated. And if you'd like to also participate, they're always looking for volunteers next year. So if you think that you want to be a part of the Civic Days, please, folks, donate your time because they could really use the help. And any bit of time that you can give to the Fitchburg Civic Days Committee is really going to make a difference here in the city of Fitchburg as they look to make this event successful year after year.
Events like this need sponsorship, and of course that means funding. And we couldn't be more happy to announce that the Fitchburg Redevelopment Authority, loving memory of John Pagnotta, the Great Wolf Lodge, Fitchburg State University, Enterprise Bank, Fitchburg Game On Sports and Performance Center, IC Federal Credit Union, Rollstone Bank and Trust, Gold Bowl, Mass Cultural Center, TD Bank, Visit North Central Mass, Leominster Credit Union, Fidelity Bank, Hollis Hill Farms, AIS, Tacos and Tequilas, Ron Bouchard's Auto, Mount Wachusett, Can-Am Machinery, Unitil, Avidia Bank, Mass Military History Expo, Clinton Savings, Beers for Good, FATV, Legends Grill and Sports Bar, all sponsors. And consider these sponsors when you patronize these businesses, as they have given much for this event to take place today.
Absolutely. We can't thank them enough. And as we look at some of the parade entries there, it's going to be remarkable, some of the different groups you're going to be seeing on. And of course, we also want to acknowledge our parade marshal for today, Leona Wetzel. And I know you have some background on Leona's volunteering and everything she does here in the city of Fitchburg and throughout North Central Mass. She does some incredible work.
President of Three Pyramids Incorporated, North Central Mass Minority Coalition, and of course for many years with Mock just another great organization that's given so much for the city of Fitchburg.
And when you mentioned the Minority Coalition, I think it's important to note one of the 3 recent murals that were completed here in the city of Fitchburg, honoring the past president and founder of the Minority Coalition in Fitchburg, Adrian Ford, who worked closely with Leona for a number of decades.
It is indeed all of the folks that make stuff like this happen that truly heartwarm every citizen, that folks give in this community, and they give unselfishly.
Absolutely. They give and they continue to give and they continue to give, and I think that's what makes Fitchburg such a spectacular community. You know, we're a population of 40,000 or so, but we still have that small town feel, and we still have that community feel. And when you ask for volunteers, when you ask for help, people here in Fitchburg show up and they answer that call.
They sure do. So in just a few moments, we can see once again, almost to Espresso Pizza, the Fitchburg Police contingent that always leads the parade. And soon we will have the 2022 Independence Day Civic Days Parade underway.
And it feels good to be back after taking those 2 years off. Glenn, I know you have office space over at the chamber office where I work, and when we were talking about this, it almost felt surreal. It was kind of like, is this actually coming back? Is it going to be happening? And as it got closer and closer, it became more real. And I woke up this morning and I said, I need to dig out my 4th of July shirt, because we're ready to go.
Well, I'm sporting a little bit of gray for the red and gray, and Fitchburg Access Television, one of my shirts from all the years of volunteering at the TV station as we are today. So once again, we're going to see the motorized, the motor unit, the police motorcycle, followed by a police cruiser, and I think we're going to see that real soon. We have 2 units, 2 motorized units, 2 motor cops represented here this morning, and we're going to see the Grand Marshal, Leona Wetzel, Vice President of the Making Opportunity Count. She is a resident of Fitchburg and has been for over 40 years, homeowner in Fitchburg, married with 3 daughters and a grandson. You'll see her soon.
I think what's great is I know her family is actually just across the way, so great to see some representation, some family support this morning.
And this
Excellent
is it.
to see her crowd turn out.
Our bicycle officer this morning as well. Good to see him. Jim Achaprede.
And we mentioned the bicycle unit. It's important to note the rail trail, the Twin City Rail Trail, now open. So don't be surprised if you see Jim riding along that rail trail from time to time, checking in with folks that are enjoying that trail.
Huge opportunity to once again engage with the community. The bicycle officers, of course, are able to do things that motorized vehicles can't get you to.
Now, Glenn, I know you are a veteran of the Fitchburg Police Department. It's been a number of years and a number of roles. For you, what's it like to see some of your colleagues still involved in this parade and still taking the time to be a part of the community for events like this?
Well, it's heartwarming because the tradition continues of service and of quality service with the utmost integrity, patience for their public, and of course inclusiveness and diversity in the police department, well representing the community at large. And for me, it was a travel of decades to see the improvements just like everything else in the city.
And you mentioned the diversity and inclusiveness. I think what's always so incredible with this parade is how it really does reflect the diverse population here in Fitchburg, the many different cultures that we have from all around the world who are all represented here in Fitchburg.
The conversation is that the police department should look like the community, and truly in Fitchburg it does, and with an awful lot of compassion and ability to really protect the people. And that's really the mission, and that's the charge, and under the direction of Chief Martineau, he does just an incredible job.
Absolutely. And you're going to hear those sirens getting louder and louder as they get closer and closer, and the kids are excited. I see them kind of bouncing in their chairs as the motorcycle makes its way past us again.
We have the officers on motorcycles. And then we're going to see the high visibility police cruiser. Sergeant James McCall this morning. Motor officers take pride in keeping their equipment maintained and clean. You can see that represented today, Travis.
Absolutely. It's just incredible to see the power and the speed that these motorcycles have as they show off the maneuverability.
And the traffic division represented with those motorbikes.
And the traffic division has been quite busy as they've been lining the road on Main Street in Boulder, helping folks get used to the two-way Main Boulder pattern.
Yeah, so they set up barriers, they block streets, plan the pattern. Very, very nice. You see a long contingent of fire apparatus coming our way.
And we have, just getting out of his vehicle, we have Fitchburg Police Chief Ernie Martineau and Thomas Hughes right there from the community engagement helping out this morning. He got a ride up here, which is always nice.
Good to see the chief. Move up that way.
And Pastor Thomas Hughes now joining us, getting
Sergeant,
a ride all the way up from St. Bernard's. How'd it feel riding in that?
I had a
Sergeant
blast.
Barbara
I had
Boyne.
fun. Thank you to the chief allowing me to ride along with him. What's that?
And some of the officers and their family, some of the young ones in the back seat. Always great to see the families coming out.
Bobby
with these
Hughes in the
troopers.
1993 vintage police car. Fitchburg Police Relief Association.
And our Fitchburg firefighters now making their way down the line.
Fitchburg Fire Department, of course, also assisting with EMS and a lot of the emergency planning that goes on for the response in case they're needed. Great to see everybody this morning.
And you mentioned
See
the emergency.
Nisha this morning driving the emergency management truck.
Always ready to respond to whatever type of emergency. They've got one of their generators, their work lights, just some of the setup that they bring wherever there's an emergency. They are ready to respond. We're actually going to see a couple more of the apparatus with the emergency management in the coming vehicles.
You know, Fitchburg Emergency Management even assists with crime scene processing. They'll bring the lighting unit out in the event they need it at night. Want to thank Contemporary Design and Construction this morning for bringing along their Dodge Ram in the parade.
and Contemporary Design and Construction, located right here in Fitchburg, Mass. Give them a call. With landscaping, excavating, they've got you covered. Happy to see them being a part of the parade today. And over 40 years of excellence.
40 years
helping
of
out the
excellence.
city of Fitchburg.
Likewise. Roxy, what's up?
We're going to have some vintage fire trucks as well.
We do, and these folks coming from all over the state to be a part of this parade. I believe this historic engine right here is coming from the town of Clinton, so not too far up the road, but still amazing to see the immaculate shape that they keep these antique engines in.
And a big hello to the Clinton Fire Department. Happy 4th of July.
It's always exciting to see the antique stuff go by, you know?
Absolutely, and it's amazing that they keep these trucks in working condition. And it's just remarkable to see how much they've changed over the years when you see the different shapes and the different styles and the different equipment and how the setups are. And you look at how far it's come in just a few short decades.
Absolutely. The evolution of technology as well, you know?
I want to thank the Oakham Fire Department for coming out.
Making the journey to be out here today. We appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for coming out. And more.
Old Ford pumper. The Oakham Fire and Rescue vehicle.
Ocam.
Ocam.
Folks from Ocam joining us this morning.
Thank you, Ocam.
As we mentioned, it's so great to see these folks come from all across the state to be here. We got Ocam. Now we got just from up the road a little bit on Route 2, Westminster.
I think that's this year's new model on the back of the trailer there. Certainly an antique firefighting apparatus, just beautiful.
And Ashby, with one of their rescue UTVs, able to get to all the different terrain that we have here in north central Massachusetts. Really is incredible how these vehicles can get into the woods and respond to brush fires and other forest fires or other rescues as folks are out hiking.
Welcome, Ashby Rescue.
Thank you, Ashby.
At Ashby here with their forestry truck, especially crucial during the summer. You know, conditions get dry, things can burn, and they're able to get into the woods with that vehicle, with those tires. They can get into places that are a lot harder for some of our traditional trucks to get to, and amazing to see that equipment.
Very, very important. As we know, wildfires are very real. It's a great way to knock that down and mitigate it. Winchendon Fire Department.
Lunenburg now showing up with their Ladder 1 truck. Very happy to see them coming out and joining us. And not far behind them, we also have Shirley. And Shirley coming out in good numbers, filling their truck up, their ladder 1 to be here, be a part of the parade today. We appreciate them taking the time to join us and bring another vehicle right behind them that we'll talk about shortly. And I think Pastor Hughes is the most prepared out of any of us because he fits right in with these fire trucks with his bright fire red shirt this morning.
That's Fitchburg red, Travis.
That is Fitchburg red, but I'm just saying it also works with the color scheme we've got going on right now.
I wasn't sure what I was supposed to wear, so
Perfect.
Well, you fit right in.
You can't go wrong with red.
Good morning, Shirley Fire.
Shirley with their engine 4 joining us today. And Glenn, one of the things is you see all these vehicles come out to parades like this, and you don't realize the amount of collaboration which occurs regularly between all our different fire departments with their mutual response. It's pretty common for Fitchburg to go out to some of these communities and these communities to cover different fires when our engines are out here. So it's great to see that collaboration, and it's reflected clearly here today in this parade.
Very much so, Travis. Mutual aid amongst the surrounding fire companies, of course. Very, very important. And time tested for sure.
I think it's so awesome how they all come together to help each other out. It's really, really unique.
Absolutely, and one of the unique things about North Central Massachusetts, indeed. And Townsend now joining us with their Tanker 1.
Our friends from the north. To see the fairly new addition to the Townsend Fire Department. Great big new building over there. Beautiful.
And it's great when you get family involved as well. We've got some children and some spouses in the back seat of the Tanker 1, and always great to see that they're able to come out and hang out with their parents who go to work every day in these trucks and really lay it all on the line to make sure that the community stays safe. And we've got folks from all over this morning now approaching the stand right here. We have the New Ipswich Fire Department with their Engine 1 joining us. Want to thank the folks from New Ipswich for making the journey out today. We really do appreciate it. And it looks like we've got a little firefighter in training in the driver's seat. So starting her young, she'll be all ready to go.
I think she's driving.
She might be. I think she can reach the pedals.
Oh, she
There
knows
you
how to
go.
blow the horn. Now we see a fire truck here from Rockport. I'm not sure it's a Rockport fire engine from the Rockport municipality, but I think it might be.
I believe it is.
One of our local friends.
Rockport from Engine 3. Rockport, Mass. coming out representing
That's
our
it.
parade today. We do appreciate it.
Thank
Making
you,
the journey
Rockport,
out.
for coming.
Engine 3 from Sandy Bay. And of course, Princeton, Travis. Another neighboring town. What a beautiful piece of equipment represented here this morning.
Absolutely. Princeton Engine 2 joining us.
Thank
in
you
front of
so
the
much for
parade
coming.
stand. Our friends from Hubbardston, another little firefighter in training in the front seat.
Hubbardston. And Pepperell.
Yes, Pepperell with their ladder 1. And Pepperell's ladder truck, an impressive 105 feet. 105 feet of available ladder on that truck. Greenville, want to thank Greenville for coming out today with their tanker 1.
Ladder 2 from our sister city.
From the south.
And our friends from the Twin City from Ladder 2 over in Leominster. I want to thank them for coming up and joining us this morning. And we did see some of Ashby's Forest Fire Rescue. Now we're getting to see one of their more traditional trucks, their Engine 4. And members of the auxiliary riding atop the truck. Want to thank them for coming out as well. And Gardner's Fire Department joining us.
Very nice.
Engine 3 from Gardner. The Chair City, well represented
Thank you,
today.
Gardner.
All directions represented, north, east, west, and south.
Yeah.
Now heading a little more east and southeast, our friends over in Boylston joining us with their Ladder 1. You can also see their, if they have to do a water rescue, they're all set to go with that stretcher right there on top with the ladder. And our friends from Air bringing their Rescue 1 and their Engine 4 truck. Now, Glenn, I'm not 100% certain in Pastor Hughes, but I almost feel like there is a competition to see who has the loudest horn. Because every year, I swear, they get louder and louder.
And I think there's more of them. I think
Engine
there's
one
more
from
every year,
Holden.
too, Travis. Salvation Army represented here.
Yes. And we also want to thank the Salvation Army Disaster Services for coming out. Envoy Lynette Valentine and her whole staff, they respond to disasters, not just here in Fitchburg, but even around Massachusetts.
That's
and
right.
all around the country. I remember hearing that they had been heading south last year to respond to some disasters. And when there's a fire, these folks, we got Dave driving in the front seat. And we also got Lynette. How are you? Good to see you. Two of the hardest working volunteers in the city driving that truck right there. And well, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank the Salvation Army.
Thank you.
They have a summer fun program, Camp Wonderland, music mentoring program, and it's all free. Other services include social services and the food pantry. The Salvation Army is under the direction of Envoy Lynette Valentine.
Yes, and right now we have a vehicle from the Fitchburg Municipal Airport. And Glenn, I know they've had some big changes over the years over at 567 Crawford Street. Their new administration building and the new self-serve fuel farm are now in operation. New developments have taken place. New doors and roofs being fitted into the 93-year-old hangars, 2 and 3. Brand new state-of-the-art hydraulic doors installed as well, providing valuable rent to other areas as well. Also in development are stages 7 through 9. More hangars are going to be going in. They've got 21 corporate jets flying into the airport as well, and 124 airplanes that make the Fitchburg Municipal Airport their home.
And now the marching contingent here from the Fitchburg Fire Department. Great to see everyone here.
Yes, under the leadership of Chief Dante Suarez joining us today.
Thank you all for your service.
The Fitchburg Fire Department, well represented.
And their fire station on North Street is so impressive. When you look and you actually go out front, you can actually see a part of a beam from the Twin Towers that has been put in as a permanent statue. They actually worked with the kids from Monty Tech on that display right there. Engine 5 now from Fitchburg also joining us. And now we're going to be seeing our diverse display of antique cars making their way down the parade route. Many of these are from Mid-State Antique and the Classic Car Club, as well as some private owners. So we're very excited to see some of these vehicles coming through, and I will defer to Glenn for some of these because he's kind of the expert.
Beautiful example of a collector's series, Lincoln Mark 5.
That was one of my favorites growing up, Glenn.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, we have some hot rod additions and a 41 Ford coming our way.
And some more classic cars on display today.
This is a 40 Studebaker.
Studebaker.
Coming down from New Hampshire to be
Cadillac
here today.
Coupe de Ville. And then, of course,
and the Queen in the back seat with us today.
the second place winner of last night's competition, Bill Franklin's 2022 Corvette. This is the new C8 version of the Corvette, Travis. Great to see Bill Franklin this morning.
Really is a beautiful, beautiful machine.
Second place winner of last night's competition. This guy will get to the finish line first.
Now, that's my type of vehicle there. I love that thing. Look at that. There you go.
32 Ford Coupe. So a very special entry this morning, Travis. Michael Lovewell driving the Jurassic Park Jeep. It was really exciting. Michael Lovewell, co-owner of RC Motors in Lunenburg, Mass. Great to see you this morning, Mike.
Channeling his inner John Hammond this morning, complete with the amber cane.
Oh, there you go.
Extensive renovation and work he did with his son, Michael. And, of course, we're sporting that Massachusetts vanity plate, Jurassic Park.
And just in time for the newest movie, which just came out, Jurassic World Dominion.
And the 72 Chevrolet C20 pickup, dressed up in four-wheel drive with some fancy American racing wheels.
Beautiful. I tell you, Travis, these vehicles are well kept.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of time and energy into it.
I could not do this. I have enough time bringing my car to the car wash every so often now, but the amount of upkeep that goes into these vehicles to get them ready for parades like this and for all the car shows that they come out to, it really is a commitment, I think, passion of the owners.
Absolutely.
And Jack Marchand with a 1963 Ford Thunderbird, of course. He's got the Roadster special back end there. And a beautiful Volkswagen Beetle, the Brake Bike Shop represented with that entry.
Josh
and
Merchant driving that. Good to see Josh.
1911 Ford from the Settle Shop.
And you mentioned the Brake Bike Shop, a great new addition to downtown Fitchburg, especially with the Twin City Rail Trail. Go see Josh and those folks. We got some more classic cars, and we're getting the more of the lineup coming up in just a moment. And Tom, I know you had a chance to check out these cars yesterday. What did you think as you were at the Racy Car Show?
When I was there yesterday, I thought, my goodness, these are some absolutely beautiful pieces of equipment.
And we see the 1930 Model A before it gets beyond us. Mike McLaughlin in the 1957 Chevrolet, another regular annual entry. Great to see you this morning, Mike.
Good to see you, Mike.
The 1959 Pontiac Bonneville in 60s green, Travis. Were you around for that?
I just came a little bit after that. Not much longer after that, but.
Is that John?
The 1941 Cadillac, just passing the reviewing stand now. 1940. I am corrected.
Good to see you.
With Tom Donnelly behind the wheel.
I have my glasses.
And our very own executive director of Fitchburg Access Television, Nate Glennie, driving their production truck. Oh, Nate, I can skip the candy, but thank you. I do appreciate it.
This production truck, Travis, of course, has been modified over the years from analog to full digital.
Yes.
We see a live shot being represented this morning right out the dashboard with Executive Director Nate Glennie.
Yeah, he's got the camera right there. And Nate, it's actually you're used to riding on the back of motorcycles. You might not realize it's riding on the back of motorcycles during the Boston Marathon. So this is a bit of a slower pace for him. And great seeing his wife and his daughter on the front seat as well. They're having a great time coming out to this parade. I know he's happy to show off that production vehicle and all the coverage that we're able to do.
Production truck, of course, was built by a company named Girling out in Ohio.
Right now, joining us, Ray Morin, an excavation and landscape company proudly supporting and supplying our local community since 1948. You can find them on Facebook at Ray Morin, Inc. Excavating, Landscaping, Cordwood, or at raymorin.com.
Every year, of course, the Rotary East Club in Fitchburg, Fitchburg East Rotary Club, is well represented. This year, no exception. They do a lot to take care of Main Street's flower boxes. We see them out cultivating and planting, and of course, under the direction of Bobby Campbell. Good to see him this morning and all of the folks. I see B up on the truck this morning.
Vicky and Chris and Rich. Great to see everybody coming out, and Chris and B back at it again. They were volunteering yesterday in the Civic Days, so trading in their
Bobby.
Their fluorescent shirts for blue shirts today.
So thankful to the volunteers, number of volunteers they have, taking care of the flowers and things like that on Main
Absolutely,
Street.
making sure the city looks great. And those flower box, if you want to sponsor those, contact the folks at the Fitchburg East Rotary Club. They do so much great work over there. Fitchburg State University marching right now. Great to see that.
Fitchburg State University, well represented.
And the
an
Falcon.
electric car. And this, of course, M38 Jeep that we see here, Paul DeGrozelia receiving third place last night in the competition, the Ray C Antique Car Competition.
And I believe this is actually the personal collection of Paul's family.
This is the DeGrozelia Family Military Vehicle Collection. Each year it seems to get bigger, Travis.
It does, and it's always incredible to see some of these vehicles and know that some of our Fitchburg residents rode in vehicles just like these during their time of service as we celebrate our Independence Day this morning.
Everyone's always a big fan of Dodge Power Wagons and, of course, the Willys Jeep series. We got a 6-wheel coming up. That has factory air, by the way. All you got to do is drop the windshield, I'm told.
And Dan's division coming up right now.
And that may be the youngest driver we've seen this morning.
I think so. They get younger and younger each vehicle that goes by. And we got veteran George LeBlanc riding in the front of this Jeep. Always great to see George. Thank you.
George LeBlanc. He's right at home in that vehicle out there.
He is. And if you come out to our events, George usually the one who is tasked with firing off these shots during some of these ceremonies. And
this is the third place winner last night right here with Paul driving.
Gorgeous Jeep, kept in great condition.
And everybody should have a dune buggy in the driveway.
Oh, there you go.
I do want to thank George and the rest of the folks, of course, from the Veterans Council for joining us this morning. And coming up in just a minute, you're going to be hearing from the George Talcott American Legion Post 10 Band, named after George S. Talcott in his memory of his service and dedication over the years to the American Legion Post 10 Band. So you'll be hearing them in just a second, riding on this giant Mack truck.
Special thanks, of course, out to Oliva Construction for bringing their equipment. Every year, of course, we see the band coming our way in the early part of the parade. John Beauchesne on the drum this morning. Good to see you, John. The George Talcott Band. I think that drum is only second to the Purdue band drum, which is the world's largest.
There you go.
Now joining us, we have Fitchburg Mayor Stephen DiNatale, currently in his third term, along with Sheriff Lou Evangelitis this morning. And
Morning, Mayor.
I think Sheriff Lou is headed to West Fitchburg after this with that hat. It's good to see the sheriff this morning.
Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Sheriff. Good to see you.
good to see you.
Sheriff, good to see you.
Hey, how you doing?
Sheriff Lou, I want one of those badges. Those look really nice. There you go.
Our Fitchburg City Councilors now represented this morning.
City Council.
And Fitchburg's First Lady, Joanne DiNatale, in this beautiful Jaguar convertible. Great to see her this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Give a big hand to the First Lady.
Escorted by Rick Roberti.
Now we have Councilor Zarella, I see
Fitchburg City
Councilor
Council.
Green, Councilor Kutcher, Councilor Schultz, Councilor Cragen, Councilor Cruz, Councilor Boschman, Councilor Squalia, some of their family members as well walking this morning. Happy to see all of them taking the time to be a part of this parade today.
Councilor Paul Boschman, good to see you this morning.
Hey, Councilor.
Councilor DiNatale, good to see him and his family riding today.
He's got the whole crew.
Yeah.
Members of the Fitchburg Public Schools, Fitchburg School Committee joining us. Give them a big round of applause. Shout out to their chairperson. We have Mayor Stephen DiNatale, already passed. Also Sally Cragen, Aiden Horgan, Peter Stevens, their vice chairperson, Jean LaBelle Pierce, Rosemary Reynolds, James Walsh, and their student representatives, Matthew Croach, and Lisa Pavin. And Councilor Hughes also on the school committee. They're not going to make you go through a third time now.
No, I'm all set.
And Councilor Hughes, while you have a minute, for you, what's it like to be able to be on the school committee now to make an impact in that way?
You know, it was a huge transition, but I'm finding that it's a great opportunity to be a voice, to kind of bring, everyday ideas and everyday concerns to the committee, and that's what I'm so thankful for, this opportunity to serve on the school committee.
Well, we're happy to have you be a part of the committee now, and we're going to see our Fitchburg Red Raiders, our cheerleaders, joining us. Happy to see them this morning. Give a big round of applause. And following right behind them, the Fitchburg High School Marching Band, very involved in school events, community events, competitions, concerts, and festivals. They actually earned a gold medal at the NESBA Championship last fall for their 7th consecutive year. A big accomplishment. Tabitha Greenleaf does fantastic with their whole program that they have, and you'll hear them at the annual breakfast for the bands, again, coming up in the fall, right before their Thanksgiving matchup.
All directed, of course, by Tabitha Greenlees. She's done so much to resurrect the Fitchburg High School bands. Great to see them out today playing.
Yes, and looks like we've got some great folks again from the Civic Days getting some ducks. We'll see if we can get them. It looks like Ray has been upgraded with a t-shirt gun this year, so he'll be firing off some t-shirts along the line. Our friends over at Game On in Fitchburg and West Fitchburg.
Game on Fitchburg.
Kyle Palladino, it was great to see Kyle. Does a lot for the community. Great to see them out today.
And our Grand Marshal, Leona Wetzel.
Great to see Leona. Leona's family got here early so they could be in the stands to give her a big welcome as she came through. Great to see Leona's family in the back seat. And I know we have Thomas Hughes now taking some pictures, making sure he gets a good shot of her in that convertible. And I know we have some background on Leona's impressive history and just everything that she does. We do want to congratulate her on being this year's Grand Marshal and president.
Congratulations.
President of the Three Pyramids, North Central Mass Minority Coalition, Vice President of Making Opportunity Count, resident of Fitchburg for over 40 years, a homeowner for over 25, 3 daughters, 1 grandson, passion for helping people, member of the Spanish American Center Board of Directors over in Leominster, a member of a number of advisory boards. And Thomas, I know you got a very close relationship with Leona. Can you talk a little bit about her service to the city of Fitchburg?
You know, a lot of people, you have to think of something to say, but Leona, you don't have to think of anything to say. It's just her service. She gives so much, as I said a few minutes ago, she loved collaborations, wanted to do what's best. I believe with all my heart, she wants to do what's best for the city of Fitchburg. And I think that she's an excellent bridge builder. You know, bringing people together, bringing organizations together, which she's done so eloquently over the years.
Absolutely.
There's no truer test than the decades that Leona has given. And, hey, maybe they'll let her keep the car.
Right.
From the Charles Moore Lodge.
Charles Moore Lodge, been an integral part of Fitchburg for over 150 years of Fitchburg's history. The lodge was established in 1865 in that span, which has touched 3 centuries, 2 millennia. Local Freemasons have been witnesses and influencers to events and changes that have shaped the world into what it is today. Also joining us are local Shriners, the Fitchburg and Leominster Shriners, helping children with severe medical issues at no cost to their families. They do incredible work. Please thank them for coming out today, and always great to see them. It looks like they've got Taz riding on the back of that motorcycle right there.
And this may be a first, Travis, but it appears that our friends from the South in the blue and white, the LHS Marching Band.
Yes, under the direction of Robert Bergeron, the Leominster High School Band, it played at the 133rd Tournament of the Roses Parade in Pasadena on New Year's Day this year. Mr. Bergeron, who had the opportunity to play his sousaphone, was part of the Saluting America's Band Directors Float. And it's always great to see the collaboration between the Leominster High School program and the Fitchburg High School program. They work so collaboratively. And Robert Bergeron, always great seeing Bobby this morning. And these kids are so dedicated, and they start practicing well before the school year starts. They start with their camps in the summer. They're out on the blacktop practicing their formations, so they're ready to go once football season, once band competition season begins. These kids do not take time off. They're constantly practicing, and their parents are as well. I want to thank the parents and their families for always supporting them and coming along with the boosters programs as well.
Thank you so much, Leominster.
And now we also have, representing our Fitchburg, we have the Girl Scouts and the Fitchburg Cub Scout, Pack 17, and the Boy Scout Troop 17. Happy to see all these folks represented this morning here, out joining us.
The aim of the Scout activity includes character development, citizen training, and mental and physical fitness.
Yes, and Cub Scout Pack 17 has been serving young people and families since 1955. And got to, of course, mention the Girl Scouts providing girls with courage, confidence, and character, which will make the world a better place. Happy to see these groups represented this morning. Happy 4th.
Thank you.
And a lot of heart out of those kids again. We're happy to see all of them coming out today. And right now we also have the Boy Scout Troop, Pack 41, Citizenship, Honor, Integrity, and Service to Others. The mission of the BSA is to prepare young people to make correct choices in their lifetime by instilling them with the principles. The Cub Scouts are open to anyone ages 6 to 11.
They take the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. Cub Scouts are open to anyone from ages 6 to 11.
Yes, and we also have, as we mentioned, Boy Scout Troop 41, also Boy Scout Troop 823. So a number of Boy Scouts and Girl Scout troops represented here in the Fitchburg area. Happy to see them out here joining us today.
Now, each and every year it seems to grow, Travis, the Fitchburg Youth Softball.
offering recreational activities, softball for girls ages 4 to 16. Congratulations to the 10U and 14U teams who won their NCMS championships. Congratulations. Also joining them, the Fitchburg Youth Baseball Association, a parent-run youth organization utilizing city fields played by young people who range in ages 4 to 19. And joining us right now, the Fitchburg Youth Soccer, providing training and appreciation of soccer to children ages 4 to 14.
Good to see you.
And approximately 500 children involved
That's amazing. That is
in
amazing.
the youth soccer program here in Fitchburg.
Next up, Travis, is the Mesa Huskies of Fitchburg. The Mesa Huskies are a youth basketball team. This basketball team is a nonprofit youth sports organization supporting and providing opportunities for the youth.
And joining us right now, we have the United Hmong of Massachusetts, striving to promote, advocate, and improve the overall quality of life for Hmong people living in the state of Massachusetts, dedicated to being a positive space to celebrate community, inspire, and uplift members, and connect people. Thank you so much for coming out today.
Great to see the United Hmong of Massachusetts.
And the Sons and Daughters of Italy in America joining us. Lodge number 169, happy to see them represented today.
Coming up on the reviewing stand is the Connecticut Fife and Drum, played to original tunes as well as creative compositions and fresh harmonies. The Connecticut Patriots Fife and Drum have a unique sound that allow them to stand out and provide an entertainment for musical growth to members with any level of expertise.
And we just want to also mention before them was the youngest Miss Massachusetts, the little baby, representing us as well this morning.
And welcome to the Civic Days Banner Enterprise Bank sponsorship.
Great to see our volunteers carrying these banners this morning. Guys, thank you so much. And Great Wolf Lodge, been a part of Fitchburg for a number of years, but as a company here in the United States celebrating 25 years. So they want to hear you howl and cheer as they celebrate their 25 years.
They offer indoor water park fun and dry land experiences for the entire family. There is something for everyone, as kid-friendly activities and a range of dining options, as well as interactive games. Please welcome Great Wolf Lodge.
Yes, always happy to see Great Wolf Lodge represented year after year. More of the Great Wolf contingency joining us, one of their shuttles. If you ever end up in the far end of the parking lot, they'll take you where you need to go in that shuttle in style. It's quite comfortable. Been back there a number of times right now. Members of the Fitchburg Republican City Committee wearing some traditional outfits, some reenactment outfits. Always great to see them joining us this morning. And I heard that Mary Lotz is wearing an outfit from World War I actually today as well.
No doubt. They were out at the block party last night. It was great to see the Fitchburg Republican
Aaron
Committee.
Packard, good to see you this morning.
Good morning. And we have a volley this morning, a celebratory volley. These are cap and ball. black powder,
Now,
reloading.
Here's something else that's interesting. You know, we talk about the history of service. You know, in the American Revolution, no fewer than 169 Fitchburg men out of a population of only 800 fought in various campaigns, from the siege of Boston and Bunker Hill in 1775 to Long Island in New Jersey, and even Brandywine, Germantown, Bennington, Yorktown. The Fitchburg Rangers symbolized their service in the cause of American independence.
Thank you so much for coming out today.
We're getting there. And the Civil War as well, we also want to acknowledge today, as we mentioned, the number of service. Mentioned a lot of individuals, and we're going to let the Civil War. And right now we're going to... As we mentioned that service, we just heard from the 15th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry serving in the American Civil War from July of 1861 to July of 1864, made up of men from Worcester County, including many from Fitchburg, sustained heavy casualties in the Battle of Ball's Bluff in Virginia. The 15th Massachusetts has taken part in the parade for many years. Happy to see them. Mary Lott's also joining us this morning. Happy to see Mary with the World War II Color Guard. Want to thank them for their service and for joining us today.
Good morning, Mary. Well represented this morning. Good to see everyone.
The Kutcher family, good to see them.
Hi, good morning.
Well, a little bit different kind of music coming our way right now, Travis. We've got the Zen Den Studios and Youngcoff 33 Productions.
Yes,
they can help you to create your music, videos, and podcast releases at an affordable price. Get in touch today to experience the Zen.
We got Merrick Henry on the back right there. Always good to see Merrick. And, as we talk about, embracing culture and arts here in Fitchburg, the folks with the Zen Den truly carrying the torch for live music for up-and-coming artists here in Fitchburg and North Central Mass. And great to see their support and what they've been able to do with their live streaming that they did throughout the pandemic and the stuff that they continue to do out of these Zen studios here in Fitchburg.
Merrick Henry.
Merrick, a local resident, used to perform on the states of Fitchburg State when he was there at Fitchburg State University. Great to see him still performing.
Well, it's been an incredible parade, Travis. It continues on, and it's great to see everybody out today. Folks really showed up to celebrate Independence Day here at the 2022 Civic Days Parade.
And right now we do have the Ahmadiyya Muslim community joining us. We're happy to see them today. The Ahmadiyya Muslim community, love for all, hatred for none. Always great to see Furkan and his family on the float today and seeing the whole support from the community. They're one of the fastest growing international revival movements within Islam. The community spans throughout 200 countries and has millions of members. They continue to spread Islam's true meanings of moderation and restraint with compassion, patience, and prayers in the face of opposition to the Muslim community. They've been a part of Fitchburg for a number of years. They do so many great activities, so many great dinners, really help spreading the awareness. Always good seeing you guys. Thank you so much for coming out today.
Shout out to my good friend Faquan.
And Furquan's family has been a huge instrumental part of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in Fitchburg for decades.
Yes.
His father had a tremendous legacy here in Fitchburg, and great to see Furcon continuing that legacy.
We want to thank Fitchburg Access Television, of course, and director this morning, Robin Como, of course, the executive director of FATV, Nate Glennie putting it all together, Travis Falk and Jared Roberts, all on the support crew and the volunteers. Good to have Tom Hughes up with us this morning on the reviewing stand. You might be back, Tom. You never know, right?
You know what? If I'm invited,
You learning to like it?
I'm learning to like it, especially having Travis here with you, so it makes my job easy.
Well, happy to help out. And yeah, Tom, next year, I think we might have to put him in the parade, get him on one of the ladder trucks.
Oh, you just
yeah,
never
I'm
know.
all set.
I think Tommy could carry the ladder truck. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, we have the Wi-Fi microphones, so I think we could make it work.
Well, it's
I'm
just
gonna stay on the
terrific.
ground and be on the safe side.
Just terrific to be back here in Fitchburg, and of course this incredible crowd, and just a great time last night with the block party. But it's not over. Civic Days continues. You got to get your ducks. Got to get ducks in a row for the great duck race. Diane Burnett out this morning, of course, and there's still time to buy ducks.
And you can buy single ducks, you can buy groups of 5, you can buy bigger ducks. I believe they're even selling a fleet of ducks this year instead of a
fleet
flock.
of
So
ducks.
a
Wow.
flock and a fleet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds like my driveway.
And the duck race, truly amazing. When this is out at Riverfront Park, it's going to be live entertainment. They have a Pups in the Air dog show, which I've heard some fabulous things about. And when you get out there and you see all these ducks coming down the Nashua, coming down the river, it really is remarkable. And of course, the Fitchburg Fire Department sending their volunteers in with the nets to scoop them all up afterwards. And usually Nate LaRose from the Rec Department also has his pants hiked up, and he's right there in the water. And it just shows you just how much things have changed here in Fitchburg. And folks will joke about Fitchburg and Leominster that years and decades ago, and where the paper mills were going, the river was colored a different color depending on what they were printing for papers that day, and now it's crystal clear, and you can have ducks go there. You've got the fire department in there. It just shows you just how much things have changed here in the city of Fitchburg.
We talked about change, and of course, way back to the days of Mayor Bill Flynn, he took a canoe down the Nashua River, and that was the beginning of turning the ecological threat
Wow.
that having the dyes and the different excrement that the industry would put into the river and cleaning that up, and then of course the advent of the water treatment plants, and that was the beginning of what you see today, with this actually fish living in the Nashua River.
A huge turnaround, and it means so much to, to the wildlife that's living in there.
Absolutely. We hear more of the parade coming closer. I believe we're hearing some live music right now, I believe.
Yeah. So we talk about the symbolism of that, Tommy. I mean,
Yeah.
whether it's ecological or whether it's humanitarian and
Exactly,
sociological.
yeah. It's just remarkable, the amount of work that they put into it, and the commitment on a state level, a federal level, and a local level to make sure that happens.
It takes a team and it takes funding.
Yeah, absolutely.
It does. When we talk about that transition and that transformation, we're seeing so much happening on Main Street and Boulder Drive, and now you've got everything that's happening over near Strong Style Coffee, which is really going to help as well, and the theater block renovations that are going on, the partnerships that the mayor and that the city have with Fitchburg State University, and just the hard work and dedication. And it's been years in the making, and we're really starting to see those kind of on-the-ground results that people have been wanting and hoping to see. And I know Pastor Hughes, I saw you at the ribbon cuttings for the different murals,
Right.
and one of those honoring someone else who was a huge member of the community, Adrian Ford.
Adrian Ford, absolutely.
And to see him kind of in grand form now on that mural, truly remarkable.
That was just simply remarkable to see that display, and it just really, really touched my heart, and it warmed my heart,
Joining us now, Renew FM, Horizon Christian Fellowship. All of the times when our hearts and our outlook have to be renewed, Renew FM provides you with a new place for renewal. To be uplifted and encouraged, tune into one of the local radio stations, 106.1, 960 AM, 91.7 FM in Lunenburg and Gardner, and the new Spanish station, Renuevo, AM 1000.
Thank you for listening to Renew FM, 106.1 FM and 960 AM here in Pittsburgh, and 91.7 Lunenburg and Gardner.
I was just thinking I was just thinking about the many volunteers that it took to bring this together, this awesome event together today, and countless hours of planning and things like that. It's just, so I want to give a shout out to those people that really worked hard to bring this together. People you don't see, they work behind the scenes, you know.
Absolutely. And you mentioned them behind the scenes, and I know Pastor Hughes, you saw them out here late at night. They were cleaning the roads, and you never could tell that there was 20,000 people here yesterday.
Wow.
With the way the DPW transformed everything to get it ready again for the parade today, packing up the stages, packing up the different banners and everything else, and getting us ready to go.
Absolutely.
You can take it. You can have this back. You can have it back. Okay, sun's gone. Thank you. I'll tell them. Very nice.
How are you this morning? Good to see you.
I think it's Uncle Sam, Travis.
It is. How are you? How's the family?
How are you?
Get ready for his big grandbaby.
Yep.
Oh, really? I'm a fan. Did you bring up
One of the most dedicated radio listeners right here in Fitchburg.
Talk to the Joe about that. Travis, take care.
Always good seeing you.
You know who it is?
I know. Say hi to Mary for me.
Travis and Tillman. Now I went to the station with Joji.
Yes.
Oh.
And the Horizon Christian Fellowship with their impressive float joining us this morning. Happy to see them. The Calvary Chapel was formed as a fellowship of believers in the Lordship of Jesus Christ. They're a non-denominational church. They're opposed to denominations as such, only their overemphasis of the doctrinal differences that have led to the division over the body of Christ. So I want to thank the Horizon Christian Fellowship for being a part of the parade this morning. Again, a very, very impressive float joining us. And we have some more folks from the Renew FM
Very
joining us
impressive.
as well.
Renew FM, of course, well represented. You know, they've got the license for the old WFGL 960.
They do. WFGL, a huge radio presence in Fitchburg, and we're hearing audio broadcasting here, radio Renew FM broadcasting on that signal right now, and now adding a Spanish broadcast as well on the AM band. So it's been incredible to see. Seems every year they've got a new signal when they come back,
Yeah.
and they keep expanding their footprint throughout the area.
Scooping up all the licenses.
I think I just found my next vehicle. Look at that.
We'll have to get you one of those next
I
year.
know.
Well, that's a little lower to the ground. Will that work for you?
That's right.
AM 1000 for our Hispanic listeners.
Yes, their newest signal. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Canopy Lake Park. Who
Canopy
can
Lake
not
Park.
like Canopy Lake Park?
Yes,
everybody
Bennett.
loves that.
Been entertaining guests throughout New England since 1902. That's right, 120 years. Don't miss the new Castaway Island Water Park featuring a tidal river slides, and a Tots play pool, cabanas, and more. Brand new, over 85 rides, games, shows, and attractions up in New Hampshire. I remember one of the biggest rides I ever went on as a kid was the Yankee Cannonball, the big flume ride up there at Canopy Lake Park.
I go back to the days, of course, Digital Equipment Corporation used to have all their employees gave a free day at Canopy Lake Park. I was just a young teenager at the time. So with all the talk of renewable energy and alternatives to fossil fuels, it looks like we've got something coming along here that might be really exciting.
Oh, there you go.
Have you ridden a sphere lately?
Folks from the Lowell Kinetic Sculpture Race, find out more at lowellkinetic.com. That is impressive.
There you go.
Talk about the teamwork that goes into building and steering and driving that.
Oh, wow.
And along with our friends Bubbles McGee. Bubbles, our
Bubbles.
magic, and we're happy that she's able to share some of that
Bubbles and
magic
magic.
with us today. Look at those. And the kids love that as they're coming along the parade route. So I want to thank the Lowell Kinetic and again Bubbles McGee for being out here today.
And no parade would be complete without the Kohar Diggers.
They've been creating beautiful sounds for the past 22 years. Been a staple of our parade for a number of those years as well.
They're here every year, Travis.
And of course, our friends just up the street from Hollis Hills Farms, now also with Pierce's Tree Farm. They've expanded. Great to see them doing that as well. Jim Latanzi driving the truck. He's got his family along with him today, and they do such a great job over at Hollis Hills and now Pierce's Tree Farm as well. And they've really created a great destination for the entire family. You see the strawberries that the kids can put their faces through, and you got to come up and check out the Pick Your Own as well. And the Lunenburg Community Farmers Market, being a part of them as well over at the town center, 10 a.m. to noon on Sundays.
Some beautiful farm equipment being seen here now. Of course, Jim Latanzi running the Hollis Hill Farms. And that has taken on its own venue. Great place to have receptions and just fellowship up on the hill.
Yes, and
great view.
They were a site of a zip trip a number of years ago, also been featured on Chronicle for what they do with their maple syrup season. And it's just remarkable how much they've continued to grow year after year after year.
Farmer's work is never done. Jim and I speak on occasion, and he just continues his hard work up on the hill. And it's great to see farming alive in Fitchburg. I mean, where else do you go? Get the full flavor of an urban community, but just seconds and minutes away, be able to go to a farm and enjoy the country.
Absolutely, and Jim and his staff over at Hollis Hills Farm, truly remarkable work. And they've got some live music every weekend, it seems, when you go there. And was just at an event there not too long ago, and the stuff that they do for their catered events.
Just an incredible time.
It's absolutely beautiful up there as well. The view is absolutely gorgeous.
And whether it's music and an adult beverage or maybe some ice cream with the family, they've got it all. So get on out there to Hollis Hills Farm and grab a meal and stay and just really enjoy that farm experience here in a major city.
Outdoor cafe, of course, and a liquor license so that they can really appeal to all kinds of different celebrations. Just an incredible day.
And in case you're wondering just how big their farm is, over 100 acres. That's over 100 acres. And yes, they do the pick your own. It's such a big thing over the recent years. And our son actually picked his first pumpkin at Hollis Hills Farm last year. So it holds a near and dear heart to our family there. And Tom, I want to thank you for holding the papers for us.
I wasn't sure I have a job next year coming back.
I think I would want to drive the air-conditioned tractor.
Yeah, I think they agree. A little more comfortable in that air conditioning.
Spatafor Oil Company, well represented, our friends to the south.
For all your heating and cooling needs, all estimates are free. They're here for all of your installation and servicing needs. I want to thank the Spatafor family from Spatafor Oil and Energy for coming out, your home comfort specialists. Thank them for bringing that truck out today, and thank you for being a part of the parade year after year.
It's a beautiful example of a nice piece of equipment here. Look
There's
at
my
this
brother from
shiny
another mother,
chrome.
Jamie Archipretti.
I think he's jealous you're in the shade, Tommy.
But at least he's riding somewhat downhill now, so he can coast a little bit as he heads back to the start of the parade. And right now joining us, we have the Christian Motorcycle Association, the Fitchburg chapter, the Narrow Path Riders. They're a worldwide ministry dedicated to reaching people for Christ through the avenue of motorcycling. Their vision is to change the world. I want to thank them for being a part today.
You know, faith is alive in Fitchburg.
Yes,
Reverend
it is.
Tom?
Yes, it is. It is alive and well, and it's so encouraging to see with everything going on that people haven't lost faith. You know what I mean? It's a lot going on around us. Seems like on every side. Every time you wake up, it's something different. It's something new. And to be anchored in faith is really, really important.
And you have to believe it's just another ingredient that connects us.
Yes, absolutely.
I think what's also great is you look at just the diverse ways that people try and reach out, whether it's through radio, motorcycling,
Right.
church services, preaching. There are so many different avenues with which people are looking to spread that love still.
Absolutely.
We want to thank Tandem Construction. Tandem from Leominster, Mass. Been in business 45 years. They're specializing in water and sewer excavations. I can honestly say I was a former Tandem customer in 1986.
And great to see some of their impressive vehicles here. We got one of their bigger trucks.
They asked me if I needed a police detail. I said, probably not. They had the road dug up before I even got to the house.
Happy 4th of July. Thanks for being here.
Good to see you. You can clear some snowpath with that machine right there.
And more of Tandem's fleet coming down right now. And again, Tandem Construction, give them a call at 978-534-3493. Now, Glenn, when they did work at your house, did they bring this entire fleet? Is really my question.
I remember one backhoe. And one dump truck. And they were half done by 10 o'clock in the morning. It was unbelievable. Here comes the school bus. The
Yes.
Better Together school bus from First Student provides transportation for over 3,000 students daily. At First Student, they focus on safety care of their students and exceed the customer's expectations, foster teamwork, and set high standards for safe rides and unmatched care. Their Better Together theme reminds students, parents, and motorists by working together, they can be safe on the road and remind all students to remain in their seats at all times.
And again, if you are looking for a career change right now, they are hiring school bus drivers. So if you've been thinking about a different way to impact your community, reach out to the folks over at First Student.
Lakeview Landscaping, well represented with some equipment this morning, just very impressive.
51 years of service to the community, ensuring that people in the community have the utmost trust to provide for their landscaping needs. Great to see them coming out today and see their families as well, riding some of the lawnmower equipment in the back.
We want to welcome Kona Ice of Shrewsbury. Kona Ice is available for birthdays, block parties, sporting, and corporate events. They are stocked with the most delicious tropical flavors that you've ever tasted. I like the bamboo.
And I'll tell you, in a day like this, it's nice to have some Kona Ice to cool you off, some tropical shaved ice. I want to thank Ed and his family for bringing them out. Ed and Melissa for being here today. I want to thank them so much.
Kona Ice of Shrewsbury. Pretty much.
And now making their way to the stand, we have the Central Mass Rough Riders, representing the aspects of family, community, charity, as well as a passion for the community they represent. They raise the bar by encouraging young and old folks to have strong moral beliefs. They've been apart for a number of years. Member of the parade, always bring their vehicles, their motorcycles. Great to see them yet again for another year joining us.
2022 Civic Days Parade here in the city of Fitchburg continues. I want to thank the entire Civic Days committee. I want to thank you, Travis Condon, for joining us this morning up here on the reviewing stand and Reverend Tom Hughes.
And I'll tell you, every year they have more and more bikes coming out, and it's just incredible to see just how fabulous these bikes are and how much effort and detail is put into these custom builds and these custom bikes.
I'd like to add up the collective horsepower.
Can't imagine. I cannot imagine.
I want to thank Joan David for some of the work that she did in assisting us preparing for today's broadcast, Travis.
And more members of the Rough Riders driving through right now.
One thing about the Rough Riders, what I've noticed in the past is they do a lot of trying to give back to different communities that the groups are operating in, and I thought that's very, very important to be not just be in the community, but be an active participant in the betterment in terms of youth services and things like that. So I really, really appreciate the organization for doing that.
Most
Absolutely.
important investment is tomorrow's youth,
Absolutely.
tomorrow's adult citizens.
Yes.
The Montechusett military vehicle owners, I want to thank them for being here today. These are some beautiful examples of equipment that kept this country free for over 250 years, and that's what we celebrate today at the 2022 Independence Day Parade here in downtown Fitchburg. Tom Hughes and Travis Condon joining us for the Fitchburg Access television broadcast, as well as accompanying all of the citizens today here downtown Fitchburg on the PA system. Right here at 718 Main Street, the renovated and renewed City Hall to serve the community.
And it's so exciting, Glenn, to be back after 2 years absence, and just so much energy. And for me, I was just excited, like it's time, makes everything real again,
Absolutely.
We want to make a special shout out to Sherman Whitman, who's on grandpa duty today, who is going to join us as well here this morning on the reviewing stand. And of course, Tommy Hughes, the new member of the team.
Well, I don't know about that. But I really, really appreciate you guys allowing me to just be here today. It's, different perspective, marching and standing here. So thank you so much. Travis, thank you for saving me today.
Well, we're happy to have you here. You held your own. You held your own, that's for sure.
Glenn, thank you as well, my friend.
Always a pleasure, Tommy. And this mounted unit here, just a great representation of some beautiful equestrian entries in today's Civic Days parade.
And I believe that is the end. We do want to thank everybody again for coming out today, for being a part of this, for everyone who's tuning in at home. Want to thank all the volunteers from the Fitchburg Civic Days, from the DPW, and every single volunteer who turned out to be a part of this parade today, because it would not be possible were it not for the hard work of these folks and dedicating their time and coming out. And here we have the DPW getting ready to reopen the road, and we've already got a line of cars for 2A Main coming up behind them. So we do want to thank the DPW again for all their hard work. Turning this over, 20,000 people here in downtown Fitchburg yesterday for the block party, and they changed it over real quickly. So, DPW,
Let's have a
give
big
her
hand
round
for the
of applause.
Department of Public Works, ladies and gentlemen, who make
Shout
this
out
all
to
happen.
DPW. Woo!
Again, thank you to Diane Burnett, Raymond Burnett, the entire Fitchburg Civic Days community, all the volunteers, all the folks with Fitchburg Access as well.
So for the 2022 Independence Day Parade, Travis Condon, Tom Hughes, and Glenn Foster, thank you so much for watching. Fitchburg Access Television continues to give their great coverage of all city events.